Hey Army! Prepare to have your minds absolutely blown today, because what I'm about to reveal will completely change how you see Jimin, Jungkook, and jhope forever. You think you know everything about BTS's legendary 3J dance line? Think again. Today we're diving deep into the industry's best-kept secret, the real reason why some of the world's most respected choreographers are actually intimidated, and yes, even scared to work with our beloved 3J. And trust me, the truth is way more shocking than anything you could imagine. Before we get started, make sure to hit that subscribe button, smash the like if you're ready for some mind-blowing revelations, and ring that notification bell because this is the kind of exclusive content you absolutely cannot miss. Let's get into it. First, let me set the record straight about what scared actually means in this context. We're not talking about choreographers running away screaming. We're talking about professional intimidation at the highest level. And the number one reason? The 3J perfectionist standard is so astronomically high that it makes even seasoned professionals question their own abilities. I spoke with several industry insiders who've worked with BTS, and the stories they shared are absolutely incredible. One choreographer, who's worked with major Western artists and requested to remain anonymous, told me, "Working with Jimin, Jungkook, and jhope isn't just about creating choreography, it's about creating art that matches their level of excellence. That's terrifying because their standard isn't just high, it's otherworldly." Think about it this way. Imagine you're a renowned chef, and suddenly you have to cook for 3 people whose palates are so refined they can detect the slightest imperfection in seasoning. That's the pressure choreographers feel when working with 3J. These aren't just dancers who learn routines, they're artists who understand movement on a molecular level. The perfectionism of 3J isn't just about getting steps right. They analyze every micro-movement, every transition, every emotional beat of the choreography. jhope, in particular, has been known to spend hours perfecting a single 8 count that most dancers would nail in minutes. Jimin's attention to the emotional storytelling through movement is so intense that choreographers have to think like filmmakers, not just dance instructors. And Jungkook? His ability to execute technically complex moves while maintaining perfect synchronization with his members pushes choreographers to create increasingly challenging sequences. Here's where it gets really intense, Army. The second major reason choreographers feel intimidated is the constant pressure to innovate. 3J doesn't just want to learn choreography. They want to push boundaries, break rules, and create movements that have never been seen before. Several choreographers have shared that working with BTS's dance line feels like being in a creative laboratory where failure isn't just about a bad performance, it's about not contributing to the evolution of dance itself. One industry veteran described it as working with 3 dance scientists who expect you to help them discover new laws of physics. jhope's background as a street dancer combined with his classical training means he approaches choreography from multiple angles simultaneously. He doesn't just see a routine, he sees infinite possibilities for variation and improvement. Choreographers have told me that jhope will often take their original concept and suggest modifications that are so brilliant, it makes them question why they didn't think of it first. Jimin's contemporary dance background brings an entirely different challenge. His understanding of lines, extensions, and emotional expression through movement is so sophisticated that choreographers need to think about storytelling on levels they've never considered before. Working with Jimin means every gesture has to have purpose, every transition needs emotional logic. And then there's Jungkook, whose adaptability is both a blessing and a curse for choreographers. His ability to master any style instantly means choreographers can't rely on the usual learning curve to refine their ideas. If something doesn't work, it's immediately obvious, and there's nowhere to hide behind. They'll get it eventually. Now let's talk about something that absolutely shocked me when I first heard it, the physical demands that 3J place on their collaborators. We all know about BTS's legendary work ethic, but what happens behind closed doors is next level. Multiple sources have confirmed that dance practice sessions with 3J regularly extend beyond what most professionals consider humanly sustainable. We're talking 12-hour sessions where the energy level never drops, where every run-through is executed with performance-level intensity. One choreographer shared an incredible story about a session that started at 10 a.m. and ended at 2 a.m. the next day. "I thought I was in good shape," they said. "But by hour 8, I was exhausted, and they were still going full out, still making adjustments, still pushing for perfection. I realized that my definition of professional dedication was amateur compared to theirs. This isn't just about physical stamina, it's about mental endurance. 3J's ability to maintain creative focus and critical thinking for extended periods means choreographers need to match that energy or risk becoming the weak link in the creative process. Many have admitted that preparing to work with BTS requires physical and mental conditioning similar to training for athletic competition. Here's something that will absolutely blow your mind, ARMY. The synchronization standards that 3J maintain aren't just about looking good, they're about achieving a level of unity that defies human limitations. Industry professionals have described watching 3J rehearse as witnessing something supernatural. Their ability to synchronize isn't just about hitting the same positions at the same time, it's about matching energy, breath, intention, and even heartbeat rhythm. Choreographers have shared that creating for 3J means thinking about movement as if you're designing for a single organism with 6 arms and legs, not 3 separate individuals. One dance instructor who worked on early BTS choreography told me something that gave me chills. I realized that my job wasn't to teach them steps, it was to facilitate their transformation into a singular expression of music. That's when I understood why some choreographers feel intimidated. We're not just working with dancers, we're working with a phenomenon. The technical precision required to achieve this level of synchronization means that every element of the choreography needs to be mathematically perfect. Timing, spacing, angles, levels. Everything needs to work not just for individual execution, but for the collective visual impact. This puts enormous pressure on choreographers to think multidimensionally about every creative choice. What really sets 3J apart, and what makes working with them so intimidating, is their expectation that every collaboration will contribute to the evolution of dance as an art form. They don't want to just perform choreography, they want to make history. This means choreographers can't rely on tried-and-true formulas or recycle concepts that worked for other artists. 3J expects original innovation that pushes the boundaries of what's possible in commercial dance. They want movements that will be studied, analyzed, and referenced by future generations of dancers. The pressure to create something truly groundbreaking for every project is something most choreographers have never experienced. One collaborator described it as being asked to write a masterpiece every time you pick up a pen. The fear isn't about disappointing 3J, it's about not living up to the historical significance of the moment. Here's an aspect that many people don't consider. When choreographers work with 3J, they know that millions of people around the world will analyze every single movement. The global reach and influence of BTS means that any choreography created for 3J will be scrutinized, practiced, and potentially criticized by an international audience of dance enthusiasts. This global impact factor adds a layer of pressure that most choreographers never experience with other artists. Every creative decision carries the weight of representing not just the choreographer's vision, but contributing to BTS's cultural legacy. The knowledge that your work will be studied in dance schools, covered by reaction channels, and potentially influence the next generation of performers is both thrilling and terrifying. Something that consistently amazes industry professionals is 3J's emotional intelligence when it comes to movement. They don't just execute choreography, they embody it, understand its emotional core, and enhance it through their personal interpretation. This creates a unique challenge for choreographers because traditional dance instruction focuses on physical execution. With 3J, choreographers need to be prepared for deep conversations about the emotional journey of each piece, the psychological motivation behind movements, and the storytelling arc that connects individual sequences into a cohesive narrative. Many choreographers have admitted feeling unprepared for this level of artistic collaboration. They expected to teach steps. Instead, they found themselves in creative partnerships that required them to articulate and defend their artistic vision at a philosophical level. Finally, and perhaps most intimidatingly, working with 3J means contributing to a legacy that will outlast everyone involved. BTS's impact on global culture is already established, but their artistic legacy is still being written. Every choreographer who works with 3J knows they're contributing to history. This legacy pressure means that perfectionism isn't just about personal standards, It's about creating work that will stand the test of time. Choreographers are essentially being asked to create art that will be remembered and studied long after they're gone. Now, ARMY, before you think this means choreographers actually dislike working with 3J, let me be clear, the opposite is true. Every single professional I spoke with described working with Jimin, Jungkook, and jhope as the pinnacle of their career. The fear they experience is the same kind of fear that pushes artists to create their greatest work. One choreographer summed it up perfectly: being intimidated by 3J's standards pushed me to become a better artist than I ever thought possible. They didn't just accept my choreography, they made it legendary. So there you have it, ARMY, the shocking truth about why choreographers approach working with 3J with a mixture of excitement and terror. It's not because our boys are difficult or demanding. It's because they represent the absolute pinnacle of what's possible in dance. And working with them means stepping up to a level of artistry that most professionals spend their entire careers trying to reach. The next time you watch a BTS performance, remember that every single movement you see is the result of a collaborative process that pushed everyone involved to transcend their limitations and create something truly extraordinary. What do you think about these revelations, ARMY? Does this change how you view 3J's performances? Let me know in the comments below. And don't forget to subscribe for more exclusive BTS content that you won't find anywhere else.